Good morning, everyone. Myself, architect Richa Malik, with my colleague architects Sumi Agarwal and architect Saloni Bandhu from APJ School of Architecture, are going to cover topic paneling, timber and timber products from our course RAR 402, Construction and Materials, Module 9, in detail as per the AKTU syllabus. In this, I am going to cover what is paneling, its properties, use, traditional way of wall paneling, current trends, its fixing details, and various types. Paneling is a wall covering constructed from rigid or semi-rigid material. It came into existence in 17th and 18th century around, when houses were constructed mainly by stone. So, to make them comfortable, warm, people start covering their walls by wood. It serves both the purpose of beauty and insulation. Now, let's understand its properties and benefits. As I told you, its major purpose is to enhance the aesthetical quality of a place. Comes in a wide range of colors and finishes. Second property is durability, last long, weatherproof. Again, it depends upon which material you are using for the paneling. Third important property is it is light in weight, easy to install, not required very skilled workers. Through paneling, we can get acoustical and insulation benefits also. It is an architectural element, often used in residential, commercial buildings, recording rooms, theaters, and so on. So, we can divide our wall paneling into two parts: decorative wall paneling and functional wall paneling. Decorative wall paneling, as the word says, it is basically we do for improving the aesthetical appeal of that area, and through functional wall paneling, we solve the issues which that place is having, like acoustical or insulations. So now, let's understand the decorative wall paneling in detail. It is installed over wall to add the aesthetic appeal, changes the look of that place, as you can see in the pictures. That's why extensively used in interiors. Decorative wall paneling comes in different material, color, shade, textures in national and international brands. Price range of paneling material is from 40 rupees square feet to 500 rupees square feet. Ways of doing decorative paneling depends upon the design concept of the designer, as the main purpose of it is to improve the aesthetic value of that area. So it depends upon what concept, yeah, what design philosophy he or she wants to go with. So accordingly, it can be full wall, it can be partial wall, or can has a design in it, can has a cuts, or maybe some grooves or metal, or maybe our traditional Van Gogh type decorative paneling can be. So the design of its entirely depends upon the design philosophy of the designer, the impact he or she wants to achieve through the paneling. As construction industry is growing daily, new materials are coming into market. World has become a global village. We see variety of paneling materials available like glass panels, 3D panels, PVC panels, metal panels, FRP panels, and so on. Now I will hand over the mic to architect Saloni. She will explain the paneling by natural wood, block board, plywood, and MDF board in detail.
Thank you so much, Richa ma'am. As ma'am has already mentioned that we will be discussing different types of decorative wall paneling made in timber and timber products in detail. I would like to start with natural wood paneling. Natural wood paneling can be built in hardwood or it can be a combination of hardwood and softwood. When talking about natural wood paneling, these are wooden panels available in thicknesses ranging from 3 mm to 43 mm. These could be painted, polished, or one can get materials from the market which are factory finished with decorative overlays. Here we will be discussing construction details of natural wood paneling. On the left hand side is the plan of a room with wall paneling installed. Basically, there is a substructure or a frame which is installed on the wall. This frame structure is made in softwood, and these members are called studs, which have a cross sectional dimension of 75 mm by 75 mm. A few of them I'm marking over here. These are fixed to the wall with the help of a fastener. The studs are placed at an approximate distance of 750 mm center to center. This distance can be changed and or altered depending on the size of the panels to be installed. The corner detail is the important detail, which is encircled in red and named as 1. So when we look at this corner detail, which is this one, there are 3 studs which are placed close to each other in a manner and fixed to the wall as well as fixed to each other. Also, the space between the two studs is hollow. And finally, wooden panels are installed over it. Detail at A is enlarged as detail at B, which is this detail. Where we can see that on top of the stud an 8 mm ply board is fixed by nailing, and finally a layer of teak strip which is 6 mm thick is installed with the help of an adhesive and nails. The plyboard and the teak strips form a plank joint between them. Now we will be discussing section AA-. On the left hand side is the section AA showing framing below the panel. As mentioned before, vertical members are called studs and horizontal members are called noggings. The cross-sectional dimension of both is 75 mm by 75 mm. This is a suggestive dimension and may vary depending on the availability of the material. The horizontal and the vertical members are connected in a staggered manner to provide the structure strength. These are connected with the wall and each other using fasteners and nails respectively. On top of this structure, 12 mm thick plywood is fixed, which is nailed to the frame. The teakwood panels form the topmost layer of the paneling. The size of the teakwood panels is 750 by 150 by 6 mm. These planks could be installed in a horizontal fashion, vertical fashion, or a diagonal fashion. In the previous slide, we saw an example of a horizontal plank paneling. This one on the left is an example of vertical plank paneling, which is installed over the same framing structure as shown on the previous slide. The skirting detail at D is on the right hand side. This is a protruded type of a skirting detail. In this, two noggings are placed close to each other. This is basically done so that these two provide the base to the structure and also will help in holding the skirting. The skirting is around 100 mm in height. The layering of materials is same as shown in the previous details, that is the wall, then the frame, the ply, the teak panels, and the skirting is added on top. Here we are going to discuss the termination detail of the paneling with window, which is encircled in red and marked as 2. The detail at C is showing the plan at window jamb and the way paneling terminates at the window. Section 1 this one shows the paneling situation at the lintel level, and this one shows the paneling situation at the sill level. The layers of the materials used remain the same. This is the paneling detail at the column, where at the corner 3 studs are placed close to each other in this manner and nailed to each other as well as the wall. The size of the stud is 75 mm by 75 mm. The second layer is the ply, which is 12 mm thick. This is nailed to the studs. And the last layer installed over it is the teak strip, which is 150 by 750 by 6 mm. This is a detail showing termination of wall paneling at the switchboard. A GI or PVC switch box can be used. At the edge of the box, timber noggings are provided and planks are fixed over it. And to seal this joint, switchboard is fixed over it. Traditional wooden wall paneling is a variation of natural wooden paneling. The noticeable feature of this type of wall paneling are the decorative moldings. This type of paneling is also known as Victorian period wall paneling, as it originated in that period. In India, it is referred to as colonial period wall paneling. This type of wall paneling is used in cold regions as it naturally gives warmth. The elevation and plan on the left hand side shows a typical arrangement of a Victorian period wall paneling. This detail at G here shows the wooden frame in brown and the panels fixed to the frame. The mouldings are fixed on top of it. In this detail, one should notice the special piece M1, which is moulded. The detail at O is the dado rail detail, showing the framing structure in brown. On top of it is the wooden panel fixed, which is nailed to the frame. The moulding is fixed in the panel, forming a house joint. Detail R is the detail at the skirting level with a similar conceptual arrangement. In this detail, the bottom noggin is large in size so as to support the entire structure of the paneling, and the piece M2, which is a special piece for skirting, is fixed on top of it. H is a similar detail in plan showing the framing structure, the panel and the molding. Another type of paneling is plywood and laminate paneling. This is the most common paneling material used these days. The thickness of plywood varies from 3 mm to 25 mm, and the standard sheet size is 4 feet by 8 feet. The laminate sheets are available in different thicknesses varying from 0.8 mm to 1.5 mm, and the sheet size available is 6 feet by 8 feet and 8 feet by 4 feet. This material is used as it is cheap, weather resistant, chemical resistant, easy to clean, and also aesthetically pleasing, as these sheets are available in different finishes. On the left hand side is the part plan and part elevation. This paneling is similar to natural wood paneling, in which wooden framework is fixed to the wall and the plywood is fixed to the frame, and the top layer is veneer or a laminate. The detail at C and the detail at B shows the same. In detail at B, there is a gap left between the two veneers and a metal strip is inserted for aesthetical purpose. The photo on the bottom shows the same. The elevation on the left hand side shows the different layers of wall paneling. The bottommost layer is the wooden battens of 2 inches by 2 inches. The second layer is ply, which is 12 mm thick, and the topmost layer is veneer, which is 4 mm thick. The skirting detail is shown on the right as detail at D, and the top detail, which is the coping detail, is shown as detail at E. Blockboard paneling is the third type of paneling material. Blockboard is basically a combination of seasoned solid wood core with the decorative veneer face. The standard thickness varies from 15 mm to 40 mm, and the sheet size available is 2.4 meters by 1.2 meters. Since the blockboard are thick, the paneling detail here is different as compared to the natural wood panels. In this case, there is no frame structure. The panels are directly installed on the wall with the help of fasteners, which is shown in this detail over here. This kind of paneling is also known as boarding. The detail at A, which is this one, explains blockboard paneling and joinery detail at the junction of the two boards. The PU foam layer is laid on the wall plaster to take care of the undulations of the plastered surface and also to offer insulation. The PU foam is fixed to the wall with the help of rubber solution. The blockboard panels are installed on top of the PU foam, which is fixed in place using the stainless steel expandable fasteners. In the same detail, we can also see the joint formed between the two panels. The detail over here shows the part elevation of paneling which with exposed fasteners. These are the alternate skirting details used in different type of paneling. The detail on the left shows the protruded skirting detail used in case of blockboard paneling, where the PU foam layer and the blockboard layer touches the floor and another blockboard piece of thickness 15 mm and height 100 mm is fixed on top of it with the help of fasteners forming the skirting. On the right hand side is the recessed skirting in stone. This condition is applicable where there is an existing stone flooring and skirting. The coping is provided to manage the joinery between the two different materials, which are stone and wood. MDF and particle board paneling is another type of material used in wooden paneling. These boards are made by pressing the fine wood shavings at high temperature and high pressure. These are available in different thicknesses varying from 3 mm to 35 mm, and the sheet size available is 8 feet by 4 feet. This material is mostly used for interiors. In MDF and particle board paneling, the top surface is of medium density fiber board or the particle board, and the base frame is similar to the natural wood paneling as shown in the section. This slide shows the paneling on the curved surface. In this, instead of soft wood, a metal frame is fixed to the curved surface using fasteners. On top of them, the engineered wood interlocking striped panels are fixed, forming a groove at the junction. These panels are available in various sizes as mentioned in the slide. The smaller width panels can be applied to a wall having a minimum radius of 0.8 meters, whereas the wider panels can be applied to a wall with the minimum radius of 2.3 meters. These panel sizes may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Now we will be discussing concealed doors in wooden paneled walls. Sliding doors can be concealed in wall paneling. This is done to enhance the look of the space. These doors can be combined with the matching wall panels to create an integrated look. And also these are available in the market in endless finishes, dimensions and combinations. These doors could also be made on site according to the specifications. The following is the detail of the concealed sliding door in a wooden paneling system. In this, to accommodate the sliding shutter, the wall thickness is reduced and the paneling is extended to form a cavity as shown in the detail at A to hide the sliding shutter when open. These type of doors can be seen in large spaces such as conference halls and banquet halls. Now we will be discussing the fixing and joinery detail between two planks. There are four types of joinery used. 1. Tongue and groove. 2nd. Overlap joint. 3rd. Shiplap edge joint. And 4th. Plank joint. On left, the tongue and groove joint is shown. In this joint, one piece has the slot and the other piece has the tongue, which fits into the slot. On the right hand side is the shiplap joint. In this joint, plank has a small L-shaped notch. The notch on the other side of the plank is on the upper edge, while the other side of the plank is notched on the other end. During installation, these notches fit together and slightly overlaps each other as shown in the detail on the right hand side. In this slide, we will be discussing the other two joints, which is the plank joint and the overlap joint. On left hand side is the plank joint panel board, which are composed of a series of planks that line from floor to ceiling. These planks can be installed vertically as well as horizontally. These are available in different sizes, for example 6 inches by 10 feet, 4 inches by 8 feet, etc. On the right hand side shows the overlap joint panel boards. Overlap joints allows horizontal wooden panels to be overlapped successively. In this type of configuration, the bottom panel above will always be to the front of the panel beneath, as shown in the pictures on the right. Here we will be discussing the process of fixing panels using metal studs. Step 1 is install GI track on the floor and the ceiling, and then metal studs are fixed at extreme ends of the wall to make an outer frame. Step 2 is mark horizontal and vertical grid lines. Fix vertical studs with maximum of 600 mm center to center distance with the help of GI brackets fixed at 400 mm center to center distance. The electrical conduits and boxes are also laid at this stage as shown in the picture at the bottom right side corner. Step 3 is installing the plaster boards of a desired size by fixing the board to the studs with the help of dry wall screws. And last step, which is the fourth step, is fixing the panels of the services like waste water pipes. This is done by fixing the frame with the studs and channels to enclose the pipe and install the boards over it. The fixing detail of timber paneling is similar to the process, but instead of metal studs, wooden studs and noggings are used, and instead of plaster boards, plyboard or MDF is used. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to Sumi ma'am to explain the topic further.
Thank you, Architect Saloni. As we have already discussed, that wall panels are functional as well as decorative. Till now, we had seen various types of decorative paneling. We will now discuss the functional paneling in detail. Wall paneling can be functional, or we can say that they may be used for serving technical services. Based on the user, we have 4 different types of functional paneling. The first one is acoustic wall paneling, which are used in auditoriums, meeting rooms, etc. Next is the insulated wall paneling, which is used for thermal insulation in extreme climates like very cold climate or very hot climate. The utility wall paneling are used in kitchen, bathroom, etc. or any other place. They may be used as hangers or as shelves. Another type of functional wall paneling is lead wall paneling. These are used in X-ray rooms to control the leakage of the radiations. Now let us discuss these one by one in detail. Insulated wall panels are mainly used on the walls for thermal and acoustical insulations. It also contributes towards the energy efficiency of the buildings. In this slide is shown an example of a structural insulated panel, which is also known as SIP. It is a form of sandwich panel which has an insulating layer of rigid core sandwiched between 2 layers of structural board, and it is used in construction industry. The sandwich wall panel can have different core materials. It can be EPS or PU or rock wool or glass wool. There can be many materials which are sandwiched in these panels. These are lightweight easy to maintain, and easy to install. Next is the acoustical wall paneling. This we can say as another type of insulated wall paneling. The raw surface of the wall can reflect sound back and may create an echo in a room. To improve the acoustical properties of a room, one needs a sound absorbing surface on the walls of a room. Acoustical panels do the job by absorbing the noise and thus provides a proper sound effect in the room. The acoustical paneling helps in controlling the noise level in space and avoids the noise transfer through the wall. Nevertheless, the acoustics of a room depends upon the size of the paneling, the location of the paneling, size of a room, the location of the speakers, etc. It is preferably applicable in the home theatres, classrooms, cinema theatres, schools, auditoriums, etc. As it is visible in the images, these panels are available in a wide variety of colors and textures to match the room's decor. Here is an example of a perforated wooden paneling in an auditorium. It is fitted on the wall through a concealed system of wooden framework, and the panels are fixed and finished over this framework. Now let us see how these panels are fitted on the wooden framework. The panel system is fitted by means of mounting profiles so that each panel is individually locked on all four sides. There is a unique installation system of aluminium profiles for walls and ceilings. The profiles are strong and their torsional rigidity ensures the utmost linear accuracy. The range of these profiles accommodates both aesthetic and functional demands. There are a variety of joints and connections to choose from. The slide shows different profiles used for vertical panel joints and corner joints. There are special profiles used for bottom panel fixation as shown in the detail 2. Similarly, in the third detail, we find an aluminium profile which is seen from outside as a strip. There are different profiles for concave corner joint and convex corner joint as seen in detail 4 and detail 6. Special profile types disguise cut edges and allow for panel cutting on site. Thus, panels can be ordered in standard sizes and then adjusted on site to meet the actual dimension, allowing for a more cost-effective installation. Now let us discuss some of the methods of installations based on the type of finish required. In all the cases, first the wooden frame is fixed onto the wall and then the acoustical material is filled between. After this, the profiles are fitted onto the frame. Here, in the first method, the panels are fixed on the profile, leaving a gap between the panels. That means a gap is visible in the finished surface. In the second case, the panels are fixed edge to edge without leaving any gap. Whereas in the third case, the panels are directly nailed to the wooden frame. In all the three cases, the profile used are same, that is T1 and T2, but the finishes are different. In order to achieve a fully satisfactory result, it is important for the underlay to be well balanced vertically and horizontally. If the panel wall is perforated or slotted and is to serve as a sound absorber, the under construction is extended so that a space is created for mineral wool insulation or any other type of insulation within these air gaps. The mineral wool shall always be placed tight behind the panel. Here are some of the pictures which shows the process of installation. I am sharing a link of the video on YouTube. You can watch it to understand the step-by-step process of the installation of these acoustical panels. Let us now discuss the materials used for acoustical panels. Mostly in auditoriums, wooden acoustical panels are used. It consists of a core board of insulating materials like PU, EPS, rock wool, glass wool, etc., which is sandwiched between the veneer finish on front and rear side. The front surface may be plain or perforated, or it may be textured. Another material which is used is wood wool cement board paneling. This is made of wood wool and Portland cement with addition of natural mineralizing agent. It has multiple advantages. It is a good thermal as well as sound insulator. It offers fire resistance as well. The wood wool slabs have good resistance to insects, pests and termites. These boards are 18 to 25 mm thick and are available in the sizes 4 feet by 2 feet. With the help of an example, now let us see the process to fix an acoustical wall paneling for a very economical site. The first step is to choose a design for the wall paneling. As per the design, the plywood framework is being fixed on the wall. In the next step, the grippers are screwed to the frame. Once the grippers are done, the insulation material is fixed within the grippers. The insulation materials, as discussed earlier, can be a foam sheet if you want to go for a very economical solution, or it can be rock wool, fiberglass, etc. for a meeting room or conference room. The last step is to fix the fabric as per your design. The finished form is shown in the last picture. Sometimes the paneling is also done for some storage purpose. These are the utility wall panelings. This serves both the functional as well as aesthetical purpose. The shelves can be embedded in the wall paneling in the study rooms, living rooms, etc. for storage purposes. A niche in the wall is created and the wooden shelves matching with the paneling is installed. In the utility paneling, we can also use the panels to hang or hold things. The panels are perforated hardboards that has rows of small holes to hold nails and pegs. One can use the entire surface as a utility panel or just a part of the wall as a utility panel. They are available in various color finishes and wood texture finishes. They can be easily modified as per the requirement. This slide shows the fixing detail of the shelves. The details are quite similar to the laminated wooden paneling. First, the framework of battens is fixed to the wall. Then, a baseboard is nailed or screwed to this frame. On this board, the box of the shelf is fitted. The shelves can be of plywood or glass as per your design. These shelves can be either fixed or removable. Now I will hand over the mic to architect Richa Malik, who will elaborate on the functional wall paneling used for X-ray rooms.
Thank you, Sumi ma'am, for a wonderful information. Now I will focus on lead lining paneling. It provides a permanent solution for radiation shielding and offers more effective protection than any partition. It is used mostly in treatment rooms, X-ray rooms where there is a risk of prolonged radiation exposures. These panels can either be manufactured as a plaster board, plywood board, or laminated panels. mostly found in medical and industrial applications. The size of these panels is 3 meter long and 600 wide. As lead lining makes them heavy, so it is very important to lift it carefully at the time of installation. This table shows the size of the panel with respect to the weight. Now let's see few lead paneling common materials. In that, lead lined plaster board 13 mm is very much common. It has a water, fire resistant and sound insulation property. Its high density core with glass fiber reinforcement wrapped in heavy duty paper gives the added benefit to it. It comes in the size of 1200 mm to 3000 mm and thickness is 13 mm. Other common material is lead lined particle board. As you can see in the picture also, it has a much greater tensile bond strength than plaster board. It means high impact resistance compared to the plaster board. So we apply this kind of a paneling in the area which are more prone to more wear and tear. Installation of lead lining paneling. When installing to an existing wall, a leaded batten is fastened to the wall at 600 center to center, which the lead panels are then fixed to. Using a leaded batten gives full protection to the panel joints. The panels are then fixed through the lead tape to give the full protection. Additional lead lined horizontal battens or plates fixed in the width so that the electric outlet or the sockets can be taken out from the paneling. Protection to the pipes and ventilation ducts can be done through lead paints on them. For ceiling paneling, overall panel weight does not exceed 35 kg. Otherwise, fixing and security of that place comes into question. Prefab lead panels are a simple alternative to fixed permanent wall shielding. This is an easy, clean, and efficient method of non-altering rental spaces or converting existing rooms to a certified radiation protected X-ray rooms. As you can see in the picture, you can see the corner detail how the two panels can be fixed. Then the bottom detail, that bottom floor plate is there on which through drill we mount the partitions. Then how it will look in totality. There are various features and the benefits of this prefab lead paneling. First, it is durable, washable, available in many colors, no mess installation, fully removable, fast construction, comes in the size of 4 feet to 8 feet, 4 feet to 9 feet, 4 feet to 10 feet panels. Custom width, height and thicknesses are also can be manufactured and works with existing or new construction both. With this, I want to thank you for listening patiently. Thank you, students.